Real and I just want to talk a little bit about the playoffs. It's mock draft Tuesday. Also, key off-season dates to look forward to, and then 5 former free agent Wizards that the Wizards could look at signing in free agency. Let's get to it.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts. This episode is also brought to you by Prize Picks. Check out prizepicks.com and use promo code NBA, or go to your app store and download the app today. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy. All right, so I forgot to give Bradley Beal his grade for the season yesterday in the Bradley Beal season review episode. I gave it about a C. I mean, he had career lows in three-point percentage. His turnovers went up, his assists went up, but his turnovers went up as well. Didn't get to the free throw line as much. Field goal percentage went down. Didn't get, like I said, didn't get to the free throw line a lot. Field goal percentage went down. 3-point percentage went down 30% from the three. Points went down by 7 points. 30 points a game went down to 23 points a game. Of course, the leadership aspect, the 35-point loss to the Clippers, I just feel like a number one guy on a championship contender or a contender at all just doesn't allow that to happen, in my opinion. So there's just some tough things. Of course, the injuries happen. Was in COVID protocols twice. But point guard Bradley Beal, I thought he had some really good moments as point guard Bradley Beal, but there were just some rough moments here and there for Bradley Beal, chemistry wise, shooting wise, leadership wise, the chemistry in the locker room. He had a couple good games. I forgot to point out where he had some good stretches here. So when November 17th, his second time in the health and safety protocols, he came back and he was playing his best basketball of the season. He was averaging 27 points per game, 49% from the field, and 36% from three across 13 games when he left the lineup for the second stint with the protocol. Then when he came back from the protocol, he averaged 18 points a game of 42% shooting and 31% from three in 6 games before his season was ended due to wrist injury. So he had a roller coaster type year, but overall, it was an underwhelming season for sure. And there was a lot of games where he really wasn't the deciding factor in wins or losses. So that was most disappointing for me from Bradley Beal. But we know he's a 3-time All-Star, All-NBA guy. So, was last year an outlier? I think so. He just got to stay healthy. And, it's about fit too. Being next to a pass first point guard really is going to help Bradley Beal's game out. That's the best fit for him. He doesn't really do well from what we've seen with scoring point guards who are looking to score first, or combo guards who are looking to score first. So he's looking, that's what he's looking. He's looking for a traditional point guard, pass first point guard. Tommy Shepard has said the same thing. Wes Wilson Jr. has said the same thing. And defensively, Bradley Beal's a capable defender, but he just has to be more consistent on that end defensively for sure. So I gave him a C for, the points per game went down, the field goal percentage went down, 3-point percentage went down, the turnovers went up, free throw percentage. He didn't get to the free throw line as much. So, he gets this, for the standard that we're looking for Bradley Beal to be a number one guy, number one player, especially with the contract in mind coming up too. He gets about a C. He probably got the worst. Spencer Dinwiddie gets the worst grade out of all the guys in Bertans. But all the guys that I have talked about recently, Bradley Beal got the worst grade. And last year, before that, he gets an A. He gets an A plus, really. And the All NBA year, he gets about an A. And I just spent basically a whole 4 or 5 minutes talking about Bradley Beal. And then we know we got the contract coming up. So I could go on and on talking about Bradley Beal. But today we're going to talk about the key off-season dates. The lottery is May 17th, guys. So it's a week away. Tuesday night. I can't wait. The Wizards, we have a small percentage to get into that top 4. Very small. If we would have went to the 9th seed, if we would have got the 9th seed, we would have had a higher percentage, on a 10% chance. I want to say right now we have about a 3% chance. So it's not very high, but you just never know. You want to be optimistic. Maybe we can get the 8th or the 7th. You just never know. So you never know. You want to stay somewhat optimistic there. There's some good players that they can get. Benedict Mathurin, Johnny Davis from Wisconsin, Ochai Agbaji from Kansas. Those are some names if they fall in that 9th or 8th or 10th spot, Shaden Sharp. We're going to talk about Dyson Daniels. My guy from Mavs Draft is going to come back on the show in a couple of days. We're going to talk about Dyson Daniels and Jaden Hardy, Benedict Mathurin, and some other guys that might be there at that 10th spot. So stay tuned for the lottery, May 17th. All right, so May 16th to the 22nd is the draft combine. That's where, official measurements are made, 40 inch, vertical leaps, the cone drill. That's where guys do 5-on-5. I remember Kevin Herter went to the combine and for Maryland, I'm a Maryland fan, and his stock rose up because he did so well in the 5-on-5. When he declared, I want to say he was a sophomore, and he had the opportunity to pull his name out, but GMs were talking, oh my goodness, we love Kevin Herter. And he went about the 16th or the 17th of the draft in the first round to the Atlanta Hawks. So, and then also executives are there, scouts, people in the front office from each NBA team. So that's where some scuttlebutt gets out, some rumors about interest, man, who they want to pick or what direction they want to go with teams, and what teams they really like, or maybe some free agent rumors and scuttlebutt will happen around that time. Kind of like the NFL draft combine where, GMs, execs, they talk, they text, they meet up with each other, and then there's some rumors that come out about interest in other players or possible trades, different things like that are possible or could happen. All right, like I said, May 17th is the lottery. Got to stay tuned for that. June 1st is the day where guys can decide to go back to school. So it's the last day for early entrants to withdraw from the NBA draft and retain their NCAA eligibility. So guys like, Benedict Mathurin, he's a sophomore, he could declare, he could pull his name out and come back. So that's what it is in simpler terms. June 2nd, the NBA finals start. So, I got the Bucks. My pick is the Bucks and the Warriors. So most likely that's, the start of the finals, in my opinion. June 13th is the deadline for all early entrants, including international players, so international guys, to withdraw from the NBA draft. So guys like Nikola Jovic, they could pull out of the draft and go back, wherever they're playing basketball, and then come out next year. June 19th is the latest possible end date for the NBA Finals, so stay tuned for that. Like I said, Bucks and Warriors is my NBA Finals pick, so it would be the last day for that. So June 23rd is NBA Draft Day, but we're going to get into some more dates coming up and after the draft. But before we get into that, this episode is brought to you by it's brought to you by Prize Picks. Prior NBA fans, are you looking for a daily fantasy option for the NBA? Then you need to try the award-winning app Prize Picks. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy. I love this, and we know you will too. It's easy to use. You pick 2 to 5 players and an over/under on the projections, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry, and it's just you versus the projected numbers. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. Prize Picks is safe and offers fast withdrawals. Use the award-winning app on both the App Store and Google Play. Prize Picks offers any prop you can think of, from point score to rebounds, even steals. Prize Picks allows mixed sports entries on Steph Curry. You can take the under on Steph Curry's 3-pointers made, or take the over on Klay Thompson's 3-pointers made. And Prize Picks doesn't just offer NBA. They have options on college basketball, college football, NFL, MLB, soccer, MMA, and more. For a limited time, Prize Picks has an exclusive no-brainer of an offer for all of our users. Users get $50 for free if a player in your first Prize Picks entry scores a single point, but you must use code NBA. That's right. This is an exclusive offer available to Locked On fans. Sign up today and use code NBA, $50 for free if a player in your first Prize Picks entry scores a single point. This episode is also brought to you by Athletic Greens. So what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens or AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All of these things are great. It costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. It's cheaper than getting all the different supplements for yourself. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews, recommended by professional athletes, trusted by leading health experts such as Tim Ferriss and Michael Gervais. I use Athletic Greens every day to get my starter, get my energy up, get ready to do Locked On and watch some basketball and get ready for the day. Now, to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NBA network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/NBA network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily national insurance. I just want to thank you guys for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Now make sure to go check out Locked On NBA Big Board. Host Rafael Barlow from NBA Draft Junkies and author of the NBA Big Board newsletter is joined by Richard Stamen, Sam Ferris, and Leif Thulin, giving fans an in-depth look into the NBA draft, mock draft, player rankings, and of course, big boards. It's free and available wherever you get podcasts. All right, so let's look into some more key off-season dates here that I want you guys to know about. June 23rd is NBA Draft Day. So, like I said, we could, maybe we get lucky and get Jaden Ivey with the fourth pick, really. But most likely, I feel like, I'll say my mock draft pick. I'll leave that till later in the show, but that would be best case scenario. So draft day, most likely Benedict Mathurin, Johnny Davis, Shaden Sharp. Those are just some names I'm throwing out there. Ochai Agbaji, Tari Eason is the guy that's been mocked to the Wizards a lot lately. I've seen some Jeremy Sohan here and there, so we'll see. But June 23rd is NBA Draft Day. Or the Wizards could end up trading the pick for a point guard. You just never know. The Wizards are known to give up their first-round picks for veterans. We've done that a lot in the past. June 29th is last day for decisions on player, team, and early termination options. Certain contracts will require earlier decisions. So last day for teams to make a qualifying offer to players eligible for restricted free agency. So Ish Smith has a team option. Anthony Gill has a team option. He'll hit restricted free agency. A couple of years ago, you had guys like Otto Porter who hit restricted free agency. So that's the last day that you have the option to do that right before free agency starts to pick up their team option. June 30th is the last official day of the 2021-22 NBA League year. Last day for players eligible for veteran extensions in 2021-2022 to sign them. Teams can begin negotiating with free agents at 5:00 p.m. Central Time. And then, the extensions, like Bradley Beal has that 4-year, $181 million contract extension on the table. So June 30th is that last day that, Bradley Beal can sign it, is the last day, which most likely he will not be doing that. July 1st is when free agency starts. That's why, Tommy Shepard talked about this in his presser. I want to say, Wes didn't really bring it up. Tommy Shepard talked about it in his presser, July 1st is when they can really start talking about negotiations. The way they talk, July 1st indicates that Bradley Beal, he's declining the option. He's going to go with the possible 5-year, $242 million. So that would be the day that that Bradley Beal can sign that deal. That's the day that free agency starts. We can go out and sign free agents. Who's some other big. I like Malik Monk. That's a free agent I would take a look at. So July 1st is the first day that we can actually start contract negotiations. It won't be official, but you can make agreements with guys saying that, hey, we're going to sign this contract, make agreements. It's not official. You're making negotiations. They can back out of the contract because it's not official until July 6th. Restricted free agents on July 1st can sign an offer sheet. Teams can begin signing players to rookie scale contracts, minimum salary contracts, and two-way contracts. Teams can begin exercising the third or fourth year team options for 2023, 2024 on rookie scale contracts. So Denny Avdia, he's going into his third year, so you would exercise his fourth year option coming up. Rui Hachimura, last year we exercised his fourth year option. He's going into his fourth year coming up this year. Yeah, last year was his third year. So last year we exercised his fourth year option. Now this year, we just have to exercise. Are we going to sign him to an extension? That's what's going on with Rui Hachimura because he's going into his fourth year. So his rookie contract is going to be up at the end of the 2023 season. So keep that in mind. July 6th, like I said, the moratorium ends. The moratorium period is where you can negotiate contracts, but it's not an official signing. But July 6th, the moratorium period ends, and you can officially begin signing players. So it's pen to paper. This is is complete. This is an official signing. This is not just, a verbal agreement. This is an official pen to paper type signing. And they can complete trades that were made before. You can make trades before July 6th and July 1st, but the trades will become official. They'll become like just trading for a quarterback. Like the Commanders traded for Carson Wentz. The trade didn't technically become official until the new league year began. So you think of it in that way. July 7th through the 17th, the Las Vegas Summer League begins. Denny most likely will not be playing. Corey Kispert could possibly be playing. Tommy Shepard said there's a possibility, but Denny will most likely be overseas playing FIBA basketball in Israel. August 31st is the last day for teams to waive players and apply the stretch provision to their 2022-2023 salaries. September 5th is the last day for teams to issue required tenders to unsigned second-round picks. Those players become free agents on September 6th, if not tendered. So last year, you think of a guy like a Cassius Winston, who was a second-round pick. Admiral Schofield was a second-round pick a couple years ago. Yusuf Sanan, second-round pick. Aaron White, guys like that were second-round picks. Our second-round picks, they're here for a little time. They're here for not a long time, but a good time. Their careers here are shortly. Chris McCullough, second-round pick. Devin Thomas, the skinny guy that had bounce. Devin Robinson, that's his name. That was one of our second-round picks as well. We don't really keep our second-round picks for the most part, to be honest, here in Washington. But yeah, I would definitely keep an eye on Rui he's extension eligible after being in the league for 3 years. So, but he can negotiate that until the season starts on October 15th. The first game of the season most likely is usually in October. So most likely October 15th. So keep that in mind with Rui. Are they going to extend him? It's a contract year. So you got to keep that in mind coming up. He's eligible to get an extension. You look at DeAndre Ayton. The Suns have been negotiating, they've been going back and forth with his contract. They did not extend him, but last year Luka got an extension before the season started. Trae Young got an extension before the season started. Michael Porter Jr. got an extension before the season started. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got an extension before the season started. All those guys got max deals. Rui's not going to get a max deal, but you got to see the money. What is Rui going to be asking for money-wise, and what money are the Wizards willing to give him? So that's something to keep an eye on for sure. So those are the key offseason dates. I do want to quickly get to 5 former Wizards that the Wizards could target in free agency. Just wanted to keep you guys updated. The lottery is on the 17th, a week from today, May 10th. A week from today, the lottery is May 17th. I can't wait. Hopefully we get some luck there. All right, but before we do get to the 5 players, I think the Wizards could target in free agency. This episode is brought to you by Bet Online. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all of the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's basketball playoffs and the start of the Major League Baseball season. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, so I did want to let you know a key date for me is I'm about to have my second son is on the way. His due date is July 4th. Free agency starts July 1st. The moratorium period ends July 6th. So I probably won't be doing podcasts that week. So, which is, I'm excited that my son is coming into the world, but at the same time, I will be missing free agency for the most part. So I will see. We have a Wizards substitute coming in for me, or if I could just make quick 5-minute videos here and there for you guys. If we do make a big move in free agency, or we trade for a big name or for a solid point guard, I'll try to hop on here and make a podcast when I can. But that's the big news for me. Once again, I hope every mom out there had a great Mother's Day weekend. I hope you guys enjoy time with your moms. I hope you guys enjoy time with your moms on Mother's Day. So, all right, here is the 5 guys that I think the Wizards could target a free agency. First for me is Gary Payton II. Gary Payton II was on the Wizards. He was on, I want to say he was on our G League team, if I'm not mistaken, but I remember he was on a couple of 10-day contracts. He's 29 years old. He is a defensive juggernaut. He is a Swiss Army knife. This guy can guard positions 1 through 4, 6'3", 190 pounds, has highlight dunks, bounce, will guard people from basically full court, 94 feet. He will pick up. When you inbound the ball, he will not give you a lot of breathing room and not a lot of breathing space. I remember that with the Wizards. And he had a couple of athletic highlight dunks. highlight dunks. Now he fits the bill in me. When Bradley Beal says, I want a dog on the team, I want a taller guard, 6'3". That's good size. It's not like, Neto 6 feet or Ish Smith, 5'11", 5'10". I think he checks the box there. A defender, a dog, he checks the box there. He's the pedigree of his father, Gary Payton, who was one of the biggest dogs and trash talkers in the history of the NBA and was a defensive juggernaut as well. Gary Payton. So I'll bring up some numbers with him, coming off the bench with the Warriors. He's been a huge part in the Warriors' success this year. He's been a huge defensive stopper for them and just providing a lot of versatility and a lot of athleticism for him. So Gary Payton, before the calendar flipped to 2022, he shot 42% from the three. So he checks the box on the three-point line. This year from the three, he has shot about 35% from the three-point line. The Wizards were 26 in three-point percentage. Also, we were 29th in three-pointers attempted, 30.6 per game. So he's not coming in and jacking up a lot of threes. He shoots about 1.7 three-pointers a game. So that's not his calling card, but he shot well. He shot above league average, 35% from the three-point line. So that's solid right there. Here's a stat that I found right here. He was third in the league in deflections per 36 minutes this season, barely behind Matisse Thybulle and Paul Reed, which he was second in steal percentage and fourth among players his height, 6'3" or shorter, in defensive rebounding percentage. So the Wizards could use that. They could really use that. The Warriors, they allowed 2.2 fewer points per 100 possessions when Gary Payton was on the floor. So he checks all the boxes for me. All the boxes for me. I would love to have Gary Payton on the court with the Wizards playing defense, because we were 25th in defensive efficiency as well. So he brings that 3-and-D aspect. He can somewhat play point guard. He's more of a shooting guard, but he's listed as a point guard and a small forward. So he's more of a combo guard, but he can certainly come off the bench. Or, if they want to come in with a small ball lineup, Gary Payton just being a defensive, versatile Swiss Army knife, he would fit in perfectly with the Washington Wizards. 6'3", 390 pounds. Second for me is another Golden State Warrior. Now, I know a lot of fans are, Otto Porter's a polarizing guy. Now, Gary Payton, I would offer him the mid-level exception of about 10.5, or see if, $8.5 million. I would see something. I would offer something like that. I think that will really, really go well with Gary Payton. And I think that would be a steal, a free agent steal, to be honest. Next for me is Otto Porter. I know a lot of people are going to laugh about this. They're going to laugh about this, but Otto Porter's been playing really well in the playoffs. He had a really, really good game 3 against the Memphis Grizzlies. He had about 10 points, I want to say. He had more than that. He had about 10 or 16 points. He played really, really well. He's been knocking down the three at a high clip. We already know he's an elite shooter. He's more of a 3-and-D guy. He shot 37% from the three-point line, 8 points per game this year. He's been very versatile. He's played the 4-man and the 5. He's played the 3 as well for the Warriors. There's a couple stats that I found. And he's shooting 72% at the rim as well. So he's finishing around the rim. He's rebounding well. He's averaging 5.7 rebounds per game. So the Wizards could use that. They could use that three-point shooting. He's shooting 80% from the free throw line as well. So he's a knockdown free throw shooter. Doesn't get to the line a lot, as we know. Otto Porter is more of a leaner guy, not the most physical guy, but he's versatile. He has long arms, a long wingspan, and he can really defend. He's a versatile defender as well. So there's another stat that I found about Otto Porter with him and Steph Curry. Otto Porter has pushed Steph Curry's net points per 100 possessions to 13.8, and it was 8.8 when Steph Curry played without Otto Porter. So that kind of shows that they fit well. They're playing well together. He spaces the floor. He makes it easier for Steph Curry. Maybe he could possibly do the same thing for Bradley Beal, just spacing the floor, knocking down threes, and playing defense. So Otto Porter's on a minimum deal right now. Gary Payton's on a minimum deal. So Otto Porter's not going to get much in the market. I would say the mid-level exception to 10.5 at the most, or less than that, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't mind bringing Otto Porter back. Another guy, quickly, I'll go over Jeff Green, another former Wizard. Went to Georgetown. Both, Otto Porter went to Georgetown. Jeff Green went to Georgetown. Jeff Green has averaged 10 points a game, 3 rebounds, 6'8", 235 pounds. Super, super athletic, longer wing, more of a small forward, because we really don't have that small forward right now. I feel like a lineup with point guard X, Bradley Beal, Jeff Green at the small forward, Kyle Kuzma at the 4, Porzingis at the 5. That's a lineup. That's a tall, long lineup. Jeff Green 6'8", Kyle Kuzma 6'9". Jeff Green's he has a player option. He's making $4.5 million per year. So he's really not going to make much more than that if he opts out of that deal He could possibly go back to the Denver Nuggets. But yeah, right now he is 35 years old. So he's on the older side, but he still has that athleticism. There's highlight dunks that he's had with the Wizards. He has a great post-up game. He's a solid passer as well. He's an underrated passer, a great finisher around the rim, and has defensive versatility as well. So I wouldn't mind bringing Jeff back for lower than the mid-level exception, or maybe $5 million a year or something like that. I think could really work out with Jeff Green. Another guy is, I don't see the fit here, but Bobby Portis is a free agent. He's making about $4.5 million per year right now. He has a player option as well, so he most likely is going to opt out. He's averaging 14 points a game and 9 boards. This guy has a ring, won a ring last year with Giannis. Comes off the bench, is a great six man, a backup center. He can play center. He can play power forward. The fit is tough for me because we already have a guy like a Rui who's more of a shooter and is not a great defender. But Rui's more athletic than Bobby Portis. But Bobby Portis is a winner, man. This guy can come in and score and get buckets. He can score in the post. He can score pick and pop, mid-range game. He's just a lethal scorer. He really is. And he knows how to win ball games. He plays with a lot of grit, a lot of grind, and a lot of energy. So Bobby Portis is somewhat of an option for me. Yeah, I do want to look up Bobby Portis' contract one more time. Yeah, he has a player option right now. He's $4.5 million. So most likely he is going to opt out of that $4.5 million deal. And he can get more money on the market. But I don't see him making really more than $10.5 million of that mid-level exception. Would I use the mid-level, the full mid MLE on him? Most likely not, just because of the fit, because we already have a Rui Hachimura coming off the bench. Another guy quickly is Daniel House. This is the fifth guy. He was on the roster. I remember he was on the summer league team. He might have been our second round pick. He is about 28 years old. This year he didn't average much with the Jazz. He was on the Rockets, didn't really play well, but he's a really good three-point shooter. He's a career 36% three-point shooter, shot 41% from the three with the Jazz this past season, and 6 points a game. He shot 37% from the three this full season with the Houston Rockets and the Utah Jazz combined. With Houston in 2020, he shot 36% from the three. In 2019, with Houston, he shot 41% from three. So his career high, he made 10 points per game in 2020. So he's more of a 3-and-D guy. He's going to be another cheap veteran minimum kind of deal guy. That's what the Wizards have to do. They're over the cap, guys. You got to remember this. The Wizards are over the cap. They can only use the MLE, the mid-level exception of $10.5 million to sign free agents, or the biannual exception, or veteran minimum deals. So the Wizards don't have many options. Free agency pool isn't that great either. So these are just the options. These are some guys that are former Wizards that have familiarity. Tommy Shepard loves familiarity. Brought back Raul Neto, brought back Ish Smith. So I would not be surprised if he brings back one of these guys. Gary Payton II would be my first pick. I would love to bring him back. Of course, John Wall is technically a free agent with a player option. Russell Westbrook is a free agent with a player option as well. Highly doubt they bring back Russ. Russ will probably have to be traded because he's probably going to opt into that $47 million. But John Wall most likely will be bought out and he'll become a free agent. I would not mind bringing back John Wall with the MLE, the mid-level exception for sure. All right, guys. So like I said, this is a jam-packed show. I'm going to do the tankathon mock draft lottery sim here. So right now we ended up with the 11th pick in the draft. And I'll go to a mock sim lottery here. Doing it right now. I wish I could show it to you guys on my screen. So we ended up with the 10th pick. So I'll go over the picks. The first pick of the draft was Chet Holmgren to the Blazers. Jabari Smith to the Pistons at pick 2. Paolo Banchero with pick 3 to the Pacers. Jaden Ivey at pick 4 to the Orlando Magic. Keegan Murray to the Rockets with the 5th pick of the draft. Shaedon Sharpe to the Thunder with the 6th pick of the draft. With the 7th pick of the draft, the Kings select A.J. Griffin. With the 8th pick of the draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Benedict Mathurin. With the 9th pick of the draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Dyson Daniels. So two guys that I like. Benedict Mathurin is gone. Shaedon Sharpe, who I like a lot. A.J. Griffin, who I like. Jaden Ivey, of course, went with the 4th pick. With the 10th pick of the NBA draft, the Washington Wizards select Jeremy Sohan from Baylor, the defensive versatile wing from Baylor. 6'9", 230 pounds, really can't shoot, but he is athletic and has defensive versatility, has some ball handling skills, and has a good mid-range game. So I don't really like his fit with the Wizards because he can't shoot the three, but he does bring defensive versatility, and he brings athleticism that the Washington Wizards could certainly use. Guys that they could have picked: Jalen Duran went to the Knicks at 11. Mark Williams went to the Thunder at 12. Johnny Davis went to the Hornets at pick 13. And the Cavaliers got Malachi Branham, who I like, the shooting guard out of Ohio State, went 14th to the Cavs. So just want to you guys let me know what you guys think about some of the former Wizards, the key all-season dates, and the mock draft. I know it was a jam-packed show today. Also, guys, please, we'll be doing a mailbag soon. Just want to get you guys' thoughts before the draft lottery comes up. Can't wait for that. A week from today, I just can't wait. Also, we'll be having a guest, my guy Mavs Draft, talking about the draft and some prospects, getting us ready for the draft lottery. So stay tuned for that. And I just want to thank you guys for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On NBA, from the first jump ball of the play-in tournament to the last possession of the finals. Locked On experts takes you deep inside the playoffs with insight and analysis affecting all 30 teams. Hail to the Wizards. Peace.